Okay, again, I'm Andrea Atkinson. I work for the National Park Service South Florida Caribbean Network. I'm in charge of our awesome data management analysis and reporting team. And I get the joy today of presenting the results from Biscayne BioBlitz 2010. How many of you guys participated in BioBlitz, by the way? Good number. Thank you. So this is basically summarizing some of the science that happened. So what is a BioBlitz? Basically, this happened between April 30th and May 1st, 2010. It was a partnership between the National Geographic Society and the National Park Service. And the idea is to identify as many species as we possibly can within 24 hours. And do so while engaging the community in science in the park and engaging scientists in surveying taxa and contributing their time to the park. And basically one per year is happening until 2016, which is the National Park Service Centennial. I'd like to point out there was tremendous outreach to our schools to make this happen. 111 teachers came from 27 schools in 8 different counties, and they brought over 1,300 students to the park. I got to tell you, I was floored. And so students were getting a chance to interact with resources and park staff. They were getting to hear talks by scientists. They were actually getting to participate in the science and get to see scientists at their work, get hands-on experience. And basically, I think this picture says it all. Just have fun, enjoying the science in the parks. Over 170 scientists volunteered their time to make this happen. I don't have room in a slide to put all your names. Sorry. But we had 12 different universities, 8 different government agencies, 3 museums, and a whole collection of nonprofits and consultants contributed their time towards this effort, so thank you. Basically, we had surveys that were happening in 2 key areas in the park, in Convoy Point and in Elliott Key, but we had a lot of surveys that were actually happening throughout the park. And we had everything from walking surveys, bird mist nets, zooplankton. I don't want to read all this, but snorkeling, night dives. We had light traps. We had small mammal trapping, diatoms, sand cores, and then we also had a helicopter survey. So a whole ton of different methods were applied by a whole bunch of different scientists. And my team was in charge of managing the data storm. And so from those 85 different inventory teams, we had 176 data sheets with over 3,000 species observations and over 12,000 photo files. And we managed to provide live updates on species accounts throughout the event. And but then I got a lesson in taxonomy after the event because we had to do a major species name cleanup. A lot more work than I realized going into it. And then we handed the final species list back to the scientists and had them review especially the new species to our park list. We compiled our park list of species from, first of all, the inventories we'd already done are stored in NP species for vertebrates and vascular plants. And then the park webpage also had additional species listed for butterflies and crustaceans and other invertebrates. And then we also added the coral species from our South Florida Caribbean Network coral monitoring species. So getting to some of the results. Amphibians and reptiles, we basically had about 3 different focus groups on this, and they found 4 amphibians and 9 reptiles. None of them were new to the park list, but we did actually get a new subspecies to the park list, which is the southern black racer here. Found it interesting that 2 of the 4 amphibian species were exotics that we're seeing. Mammals, kind of similar. We had a small mammal trapping effort that happened on Elliott Key. Unfortunately, it came back in the morning and there were no small mammals in the traps. Sad. So we got a total of 8 species that were detected, including the Mexican red-bellied squirrel, and also West Indian manatee. Yes, we counted humans because I think there was some frustration, but there were 0 mammals counted for a while, and so somebody wanted to at least add humans, Homo sapiens, to the list. And I refuse to call that a new species. So, birds. We had a wonderful bird mist netting effort that happened on Elliott Key and bird banding, and lots of other walking surveys and a helicopter survey in the park, resulting in 86 species identified, 3 of which are new to the park list. Bay-breasted warbler, which got a picture here, thanks to Judd Patterson, orchard oriole and solitary sandpiper. This is a result from the bird nest setting, by the way. It was a totally cool effort. We also had roseate spoonbills nesting in the park, and mangrove cuckoo and white-crowned pigeon were also seen. Fish. We had tons of people doing fish surveys with us, both snorkeling and the night dive that happened. I'm not going to list all their names, but we had 160 species that were identified, and 4 were new to the park list. And I know we got interest in the streamer sea robin, generated some interest. We also had the South Florida Underwater Photography Society there taking some absolutely fabulous pictures. So thank you. Vascular plants. We had a number of different walking surveys that happened at Convoy Point, Elliott Key, and Boca Chica Key. And we had a total of 208 species identified, 18 of which were new to the park. Shoe button ardesia was discovered. So that was the first time we had not had that on our previous inventory, and it's a Category 1 invasive that you heard about earlier. Insects. This is where it starts to get interesting. It was interesting before, but now, sorry. Foot in mouth. Okay, insects. We had a number of different insect teams that are happening both at Convoy Point and at Elliott Key. And ant surveys, butterflies and moth surveys, and all sorts of different surveys were happening. We had 57 species identified, 54 which were new to the park. 34 of those are butterflies and moths, and 15 were ant species. 6 of those ant species, for those of you who are interested, were exotic. That's a red flag for me. I don't know about other folks. The butterfly folks were really excited about this species right here. It's a rare silver-banded hair-streaked butterfly. Charles Cobell turned in this picture right here, which is just, looks like a very insignificant-looking moth, but look how beautiful it is. The Atala butterfly sighting that everyone's so excited about, sorry. We ended up crossing it off. We think it probably wasn't real. There's a close look-alike in the same area, and there's no host plants in that area, so we ended up crossing that off. We had a number of teams that were identifying species down to family and genus level, but not down to species level, and we never got final lists from them, and at least one of those researchers took another job, and they deposited a whole bunch of samples with the South Florida Collection Management Center, so if anybody wants to go identify an additional 100 to 200 species, they're sitting there waiting for you. So